Hi guys, welcome to another viewer review. So this is a viewer submitted video by Mr. Mustafa. He contacted me through Instagram, and basically he is an older two-hander. I believe he's in his 40s, mid 40s, or late 40s. I think he's in his mid 40s if I remember correctly, and he wanted me to help to check out his game, see how it can improve, and off the glance, like I think he's doing a pretty good job. So you can see Mr. Mustafa here going with a five-step approach, and for context, he is actually, I believe, from the Middle East. So yeah, so all the people here looks like they're from the Middle East. Which country? Obviously, I don't know, and we don't really need to know. It's fine. So with a five-step approach, lifts his ball up, and I can immediately see that he has early ball placement timing. So that is one of the factors that's hurting his ball speed. And you can see that his fundamentals look pretty solid, right? So if we just like reverse from here to here, can I actually zoom in a little bit just on Mr. Mustafa? So Mustafa here actually, yeah, he has pretty good fundamentals. Five-step approach, all the footwork looks good. My only complaint is that his footwork is a little bit on the larger end. Even though he's in his mid 40s, he still looks physically really fit. And yeah, can see his muscles here. It looks like he actually isn't too wide on the waistline. It looks like he's controlling his weight relatively well. Obviously, he's not as slim as some of the young teenage guys that we see right beside him, because age does catch up with us. With low metabolism, we do grow a little bit wider, but he's still keeping himself in pretty decent shape, and it looks like he does bowl often. I think from his message to me, he has been bowling two-handed for probably about 2 years, if I'm not wrong. I can't remember exactly. So, but yeah, so his fundamentals are pretty good. So let's get right to like criticizing what I would like to see improve. What he can improve on. So first and foremost is his balance arm. So let's see what's good and what's not good. So in red here, balance arm should be a lot higher. I really love his sliding leg. Like his trailing leg, it may be a little bit much too straight, but he's well extended to maintain balance. As long as he maintain balance, really good. And you can see the signs of his strong physique is that Mustafa here has really good knee bend. Even though he's in his mid 40s, he's almost considering himself a senior. I think the way he phrases his message is like, is he like too old to bowl two-handed, right? Is he too old to bowl two-handed? Is he too old to get any better? And I would say definitely not, because even in my country, in Singapore, I started learning two-handed myself about at least 7 years ago, maybe even longer. I can't remember the exact time I started. I was in my mid 30s. No, I was in my early 30s, right? Like mid close to mid 30s, just mid 30s when I started picking up two-handed, and until today, right, about 7 years later. I mean, I'm 41 now, so I'm almost the same age as Mr. Mustafa here, and I'm seeing like a lot of older gentlemen, much older than me, are picking two-handed themselves. Then like gentlemen in their 50s, probably in their 50s. Some of them are probably could be in their 60s and maybe close to 70. They're picking up two-handed as well, and they're bowling decently well. Obviously, most of them have struggle with lack of ball speed, but they definitely don't struggle with ref rate, because they don't put their thumb in. So yeah, never too old to pick up two-handed. Let me. Okay, so you see his knee bend is excellent, and I really love that his shoulder here goes really low. So this is a really good part of Mr. Mustafa's game, is that shoulder goes really low. So what this does when you keep your shoulder low is that you keep the swing to the inside of your body. That means right under your body, and you can land the ball really close to your left feet. So for example, if I try to reverse a little bit, okay. So obviously he has a little bit of loft. He doesn't land the ball exactly at his foot, but you can see how close it like goes past his left foot, right? Sorry, go past his right foot as he's landing the shot. So this is actually pretty good. So I like how low his shoulder goes. So these are really good parts. The blue lines are what I would like Mr. Mustafa to keep in his game to maintain. And the red line is what I would like to see him improve, just to get the balance arm a little bit higher. Ideally, the balance arm should be parallel to the floor. So why my obsession with the balance arm? Because you will actually need to have a really strong, solid frame on the right side of your body to balance the aggressions that's gonna happen on the left if you're gonna try and improve your ball speed and bring your game to another level. Because his ball speed I've already measured is only about 20, the highest I think he can go is about 23 kilometers per hour. He's more averaging around the 22 kilometer per hour ball speed. So it's averaging about anywhere from 21 to 23. I would say closer to 22 kilometers per hour. And that is a decent ball speed, but not enough to be truly competitive with the two-handed game. So what I realized through years of like bowling two-handed myself and through watching other two-handed bowlers bowl is that regardless of your age, whether you are like a young 13-year-old Bella Love Castillo or whether you are like an older gentleman, my Mr Mustafa here in his mid-40s, sorry, I think he mentioned he's like 45 or something. If you're bowling two-handed, you will, and you want to get to a high level, like you want to score the 200 averages, above 200 averages, you want that high carry percentage that comes with the high ref rate of bowling two-handed, you have to have ball speed. So the ball speed has to hit a minimum of about 24, the higher the better, but there is a cap. Like if you're hitting 30 kilometers per hour, then that is the cap. So you shouldn't go beyond 30 kilometers per hour, but you shouldn't go below 25 kilometers per hour. So the recommended ball speed to hit is at least like 24, 25 kilometers per hour. The ideal is about 27 to 30 kilometers per hour. That is where you see the most competitive bowlers, their ball speed will be at. Those international level bowlers, those bowlers who are going to represent Team USA, any international level bowler, like for Team Singapore as well, that is a ball speed that we require the bowlers to hit if they're going to represent our country to bowl international tournaments. So, so 27 to 30 kilometers per hour is the most competitive ball speed. But if you are looking to improve yourself or to do well at the amateur level, like bowling leagues and all that, you will at least need to hit 24 to 25 kilometers per hour. Okay, so I'll be going through like more tips on how to improve his ball speed, as well as a drill that I personally am trying out and using right now. So overall pretty good. And then other things which I think Mr. Mustafa can improve is he should actually make his footwork smaller. Okay, so that is his finishing position. Let's look at his stance now. So we looked at the end, right, which is a lot of things are good, just as the balance arm. And now let's look at the start. So for a start, his spine tilt is a little bit too forward. I would like to see him keep his upper body a little bit more upright. So he can do that by bringing the ball a little bit closer to his body. So when you bring the ball a bit closer to your body, the ball should weigh less because it goes by the pivot approach. The further you're holding the ball from your pivot here, the heavier you will feel, and you will actually tilt your spine forward, right? So you want to hold the ball closer and keep your spine straighter to maximize the effects of weight transfer when you finally lean your body forward. Because having a very good weight transfer would help you generate more momentum, and with more momentum, it will give you a little bit more ball speed. Okay, so let's see what is good here. His feet are really straight, so that's good. What's good here as well is that his shoulder is kept much lower than his non-bowling shoulder, so that's really good. It helps him to aim, because when his shoulder is low, what happens here is that the ball is directly underneath his left eye, since he's a left-hander, and it helps him to aim better at the arrows and at the break point. So because whatever he's looking at with his eye, now his ball, which is with his bowling shoulder tilted low, is right under his left eye. Whatever he's looking at with his left eye, his bowling shoulder and his bowling ball is now right directly under his left eye. So wherever his shoulder swings to, it will be where his left eye is looking at. So that will give him maximum accuracy and consistency. As well as I mentioned earlier, by keeping your shoulder low, your swing will go to the inside of your body. You will stay under your upper body, and you will keep it as close to your bowling foot as possible. And that helps with leverage and accuracy again. Okay, So anything else I would like to see improved? Nothing much. Let's look at his first few steps. So definitely his first step is very, very large. His second step looks like is decently sized. Look at how large his first step is. So I'll draw his first step here using a red line. So his first step is like anywhere from here to here, right? Can I zoom out a little? Maybe I can, yeah, shift this here. Okay. So you see his first step is so big, and then I would draw his second step with blue. Okay. Second step is only like half the distance of his first step, right? Right, second step is like half the distance of his first step. So what I would like to see Mr. Mustafa improve upon is to reduce his first step distance to the same as his second step. I think his second step is quite decently spaced. It can be even a little bit smaller if I were to be overly critical, but the first step has to be at least as small as the second step or even smaller, right? I'll go through my drill later, and let's look at the rest. 345. I like the speed of his 345. He's decently fast. 345, decently fast, but not fast enough. It can be a little bit faster. So if you have watched my review of the highly competitive youth bowlers from the US team trials, okay, I reviewed some youth bowlers as well as some from the current US national team, is that they all have a pretty high swing speed. They have high foot speed as well, especially on the last few steps. And most of the bowlers actually benefit from having a slightly later ball placement timing. So his foot speed and his swing speed can be a bit higher to improve on to so that you get a higher ball speed. And also his ball placement is a bit too early. So we watch here, he's placing his ball at the beginning of his second out of 5 steps, and that is way too early, right, for a two-handed bowler. If you're bowling one-handed, this is still fine, because for a one-hander, you have a very straight arm swing, so your arm swing can be a little bit longer, or actually a lot of youth bowlers in the US actually kind of counter that by moving really fast with their foot, by running to the foul line. And even though they place their ball early, they still get to the foul line earlier than when the ball reaches the finishing position. So it's way in summary, for a two-handed game, you really want to delay your ball placement so that you have less time to complete the swing, which makes your body want to speed up the swing, because by speeding up the swing, you get higher ball speed. So placing too early here. So what I would instead, this is in red, right, is placing the ball way too early, beginning of his second step. What I would like to see Mr. Mustafa change is that he should start placing his ball at the end of the second step, or I would easier to think of it as the beginning of the third step, right? So after his second step has landed, when his third step is beginning, or probably like even in the middle of the third step, but kind of in the middle of the third step is a little bit hard to kind of like coordinate in your mind. So for now, since he has really early timing, an improvement would be at the beginning of his third step, like when he feels his third step going forward right here, like he should be placing his ball right here, placing his ball at the like beginning of that third step instead, when his third step starts to go forward. Okay, so that will delay his ball placement and also force his subconscious to speed up his swing. Okay, other than that, the rest of the footwork seems to be pretty good. Let's look at his drift. I don't think he drifts much. Drifts a little bit. You can see that that step to the side. Okay, I wanted to talk about his swing as well. So we have a back view here, and you can see that in his back view, he swings a little bit to the left. So this happens, that means when this happens, it actually decreases the accuracy and consistency of the bowler, because the swing is not straight, right? So how should I explain it? Like if it's a straight swing, the arm should come directly this way, right? This is a straight swing. If it swings to the inside a little bit, because he's trying to send the ball to the left. But if you look at it, his arm swing would warp this way, right? So his backswing warps. Wait a minute. His backswing warps this way, correct? So you can see that his arm swing is his backswing is actually not straight, and the reason that is causing this is his hips. So his hips are in the way. So what I can suggest Mr. Mustafa do is that at the beginning of his stance, which is here, to shift his hips a little bit more to the, like to tilt his hips a little bit more to, how should I say, this way. That means have his left hip go a little bit further back and his right hip go a little bit further forward. You can see here he's really tilting his hips, as you can see from the back of his hips here, that his left hip is a little bit further back, but it's still not far enough. He should go a little bit more back with his left hip and a little bit more forward with his right hip. And as he goes into the ball placement, when he swings the ball down, yep. So as he swings his ball down, he's really shifting his hips to the right. So this is good as well. So it opens up more space for the ball to come down in the backswing. So no complaints there, doing well. Probably just position the hips a little bit more, because he already has his bowling shoulder lowered. Yep, so I remember from the first clip that it really lowered his bowling shoulder. So here you can actually see and measure his ball speed. So I use a timer to time his ball speed. It's a little bit on the slower end, so it's averaging about 22 kilometers per hour. So it's not fast enough to be truly competitive. And for the line that he's bowling, right, because he's bowling between the third and fourth arrow, a pretty deep line for a lefty, there's not enough axis rotation here as well. So the axis rotation of his ball is rolling around, I would say about 30 degrees. So this is the axis rotation of his ball. I think it's going around here. Like, this is about 30 degrees. I think it is relatively just barely enough for this angle, because if you're playing so deep, right, like between the third and fourth arrow to the fourth arrow, I would recommend at least 45 degrees of axis rotation for you to have a pretty good carry around this line. So he will need to learn different hand positions to get a bit more axis rotation on it. A good tip for that is that if you want to get a bit more axis rotation on it, is that when you hold the ball, you want the ball weight to be more leaning more towards the left side. That means your thumb side. So when you put the ball weight more on the thumb side and twist the ball a little bit, like how Oscar Polema would actually hold his ball, and that way when you release, right, your hand would tend to do this. You would tend to rotate more, because your subconscious is trying to counter that misposition weight on the thumb side. So there's an imbalance because it's a lot heavier on the thumb side. So as you release, your body will tend to try and counter it by turning a little bit more. So that would create a little bit more axis rotation. Okay, so going on to how a drill to improve speed. So this is something that I'm personally doing, which is that you could try this yourself. So this is a drill that I'm doing, which is to really shorten, to go really short. Let me go to my, wait, okay. Yep. So to really shorten the distance, let me mute the clip. To go really short and to do a very quick shuffle 5-step. So here in this drill, what I'm trying to do is to sort of like get my subconscious used to faster footwork timing and swing speed. So what I'm doing is I'm intentionally reducing my approach length, because normally my approach is here, like this is my full approach. Normally is behind the first row of dots, which you can barely see in the video clip here. But now I'm reducing it by like more than half, right? About 1/3 to about 1/3 or to half of my usual approach. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my footwork to go really fast. So I'm going shuffle step. So shuffle 3, 4, 5 to go straight into the swing and release. And I'm trying to do high speed footwork as well as a high speed swing as well. But no matter how fast I go, you'll see that my swing is still really slow compared to like the top bowlers from the US team trials, right? So that is something that I myself I need to improve on to improve my swing speed and my footwork. And this is one of the drills that I came up with to try and improve on that. So yeah, so this is a drill that you can do. So you start really short first, and as you kind of so you can do this for like probably 5 to 10 shots, and then as you get used to it, right, you get used to the high speed footwork. So the key thing is always having the quick footwork. So go shuffle shuffle 3 4 5. So I'm still taking a 5 step approach, but my first two steps are almost like shuffling at the same spot just to get it to move fast, so that my 3 4 5 would move fast as well, and that will also try and like get my subconscious to get to time my swing faster, so my swing goes a lot faster. Okay, so that is the then as you get used to it, so I mentioned like maybe you do it for like 5 to 10 shots, then you increase the distance by 1 step, and you do another 5 to 10 shots. So as you improve the and as you increase the distance, your footwork will naturally get larger and larger. So gradually you'll get back to your starting distance, right? That you will get back to. So as it gets larger and larger, the focus here for the bowler should be to keep up the speed of the footwork and the swing. So you want to keep the footwork and the swing as close to the original fast speed as possible as when you had the distance really short. But I mean, it's not going to be physically the same, obviously, but you want to aim to do that because the objective of the drill is to speed up our footwork and our swing speed. Okay, so this is a drill that you can do. Other things that probably can help. Probably not much at this point. So, oh yeah, I wanted to mention that yes, delaying the swing speed would definitely help as well, because I think, let me check if I have some clips of, yeah, correct. So these are some clips that I've taken of the. Hi guys, welcome to. Nope, not this. Yep. So these are some of the US team trial bowlers. So this is Carter Street, and Carter Street is very unique. I'll probably do like a more in-depth analysis of him later, in probably another video. But he like really delays his timing. Like this is his fourth step, and his fourth step he hasn't even started his upswing. So he just goes into the last step. His upswing and downswing happens in that last slide. So basically, he does it in like a single. He only swings his arm in a single step. That is how fast he gets his swing to, and his swing isn't even usually rush as well. And he gets pretty decent ball speed, about 29 kilometers per hour. I think this is Zachary Smullen. Yep, and you can see that he has really late. I think pretty late timing as well. Let me try and check it again. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, he actually moves his ball early, but he pulls his upswing up really late. So he moves his ball at the beginning of the second step, but he only starts pulling his ball into the upswing at the beginning of that third step to try and delay it. Ryan Barnes. Ryan Barnes is the son of the very famous Chris Barnes. But Ryan is a two-handed bowler and very successful already, very famous in the youth bowling scene. I think he is a member of Youth Team USA, and he will be a future PBA star if he decides to get into the PBA. So Ryan Barnes actually moves his arm swing actually early. So this is no, so he actually doesn't move it early. So Ryan does a 5 step. So 1 1 2, and he's actually moving his ball at the beginning of his third step here. So Ryan only moves at the beginning of the third step, then he goes into really high ball speed. So if you see the full release of Ryan Barnes, his ball speed is amazing, and it just bam. So it's just unlucky that he didn't get a carry. Probably not enough axis rotation there. What is this? I don't know his name, but you can see swing speed is fast, footwork is fast, and he delays his ball placement timing as well. He goes second step, and then now he's going into his third step. Like his third step has landed, right? But he still hasn't started his upswing. So he's delaying it really by a lot. right? He's going into, he has ended his third step. So this third step has ended. He's going into his fourth step. Still hasn't gone into upswing. Oh wait. He has a really unique timing. Wait, he has a 7 step approach. Okay, so I got it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I have to analyze it differently. 1, 2. So this is his usual second step out of 5. Now he's going into his actual third step. Third 3 out of 5 step. Yeah. So at the third step, then he begins his upswing. So you can see how late he delays his timing. That so that he gets very fast fourth and fifth. So it really delays it so that he basically only swings in his last 2 steps, and that's how he's forcing his timing to go fast, his swing speed to go fast, right? So even though he doesn't walk fast, he doesn't run to the foul line, he has really high ball speed as well. I think this is easily 28, 29 kilometers per hour. So by delaying his ball speed, Joshua Collins, I think, goes a little bit earlier. Yep. So begins a bit earlier. Ryan Breeze is another youth Team USA youth bowler. Not say Team USA, but US youth bowler that really delays his timing. Yep. So you can see Ryan actually has really high ball speed. I'm gonna play this again just for you to, like, just for the audience to see how fast he throws his shot. Like, he easily hits 30 kilometers per hour, which is like 18 miles to 19 miles per hour in US terms. And he actually takes really slow first step. And you can see Ryland Breeze. Sorry, got his name wrong. Confused with Ryan Barnes. So he actually only begins it at the almost to the end of his third step. So if you see, he actually begins his third step here. Yeah, okay. So at the beginning of his third step. So as his left leg moves forward, that's his third step. Then you can see that he's slightly moving his ball. And if you guys remember earlier, I mentioned in the video how to generate axis rotation. So how Rylan is holding the ball here is what I would recommend for someone who's trying to generate axis rotation. That means to have the ball weight more on the thumb side. As you can see here, he has his hand on the inside of the ball. Then the weight of the ball is going on the thumb side. So he's being supported. So the weight is obviously being supported by his non-bowling hand. And when he releases, this would actually prompt the bowler to rotate the ball more during release. Right. Somehow actually Ryland Siu doesn't release his shot with a lot of axis rotation, but main thing is that he delays his timing by a lot, and you can see how fast he swings his ball, how fast his arm swing is, and how fast his ball speed is. Right. Even though he walks pretty slow, right, he only speeds up his last 2 steps. So essentially, this is the importance of delaying your ball placement timing for the modern two-handed game, because the longer you delay it, the faster your swing speed, and so on and so forth. And that's about it. So if you all like to send me clips to review, like if you've like to do, I do viewer submitted reviews all the time. This is my website. You can, if you want, like so-called one-on-one bowling with me, like through Zoom if you are international, or if you are in Singapore, you can contact me through my website, my email, probably through my WhatsApp. So my WhatsApp number will be listed in the video description below on YouTube. And you can contact me on the various social medias if you just like to ask more questions or send me some clips to review. And we'll see you guys next time.